Hello everybody and welcome back to Fate Extra. This is quite a God damn it. This is a longer episode today. Took me several times just to say that. It's just longer because I wanted to get a lot of the first floor of the next arena in, and I did. There's something I need to mention, but we'll see. I'll talk more in depth about that later once it's actually relevant. So yeah, Shinji's kind of going crazy now. See, Shinji can't handle that he lost, but no, you won't, Shinji. And I'm pretty sure the system wouldn't take it if one or the other. Considering the battle's over already, I'm pretty sure the system won't take it if or won't accept that my loss if I say that, you know, I lost after the battle has already been over. Oh. He's disappearing. Well, that's gonna happen. That remark there kind of like, I guess wouldn't be we won't call it a remark, but what Shinji said kind of hit me there, because I completely forgot his age when I replayed this game, because in the other, in any other Fate story or whatever, he's as old as he looks. But here, he was only, in this world, he was only 8 years old. And I'm like, oh crap. When I saw that, that went through my mind. Because an 8-year-old still shouldn't act like that. But that gave his, the way he acted some justification. Yep. But yeah, Shinji, man. I completely forgot what her question was, so I just, picked the option unprepared. I don't think any of those options there have an impact on the story. So I guess you could pick whatever you want there. Now, like that 8-year-old, like what Shinji said, that when he said he was 8 years old, that kind of ruined the mood. Because you were happy and everything, but then you find out that your opponent was only a child. And if you think about it, that was foreshadowed quite a bit throughout the game. If you really think about it, I might be just pulling at straws here, but I think it was foreshadowed throughout the game. But Shinji's dead and we're alive, so there's only one thing to do, and that's keep winning. I forgot to mention this. After a while, there's going to be 2 different routes you can go. To put it simply, there's the Rin route or the Rani route. I'll be going through the Rin route in this walkthrough. So this walkthrough won't help you if you want to go through the Rani route. Now week 2 starts. Only 64 combatants remain. Yeah, I kind of understand what the protagonist is going through here. Not to the extent that he's like feeling it, but yeah. Just like there's just a difference between like a grown man dying and a child. Don't get me wrong, the child was still an asshole, but it was still a child nonetheless. the child doesn't know what they're doing. They don't really understand they can understand what's right from wrong. But there's a lot of children out there that don't really understand that what they're doing is wrong. I mean, Shinji's behavior is more understandable now that we figured out how old he was. He was put on a pedestal, and he was only 8 years old. So of course he would think he was everybody else. He was better than everybody else because he was told that he was better than everybody else, and he was younger than like everybody else that was doing whatever he did. But his behavior doesn't really. It still doesn't like excuse his behavior, but it makes his behavior understandable. Now, there are several events that not several. There are events you can do with your servant in the private room. In this week, they happen on different days with the different servants. So like I said, you're going to need to look up the events for your particular servant if you have a different servant than I do. Rin. We're gonna go up to the rooftop to meet Rin. Rin will teach us about noble phantasms. I've mentioned them before, but we don't really have an in-depth explanation on them. All we know about our opponent is that, is it Dan Blackmore? Something like that. Is the master, and that's all we know. So let's talk to Rin. Sniper from a kingdom that is allied. I wonder what Dan Blackmore's wish is. I'm just gonna call him Dan because I'm not sure of his. I think his last name is Blackmore, but it might be something completely different. So I'm gonna call him Dan. What his wish is. Yeah, I would say that's a problem. Find this a little bit amusing because Rin thinks, as we'll see in a moment, that we won with a really strong noble phantasm, but we don't even have one. So we were able to defeat, another pretty powerful servant without even using a noble phantasm. I guess I am. Alright, I guess I'll do that then. So I guess getting all the matrix level E's for our from our opponent will be beneficial to us for some reason in the future. I actually don't know if it actually becomes beneficial to us. I assume that maybe the final boss will somehow make use of that. I don't know what the final boss is, but I'm gonna assume like the final boss will use patterns from the other servants throughout the game, and if you got matrix level E, you'll be able to predict a bunch of his moves. I guess that's what it's gonna be. And don't quote me on this because I could be completely wrong. Yeah. now that the primary cipher key has been generated, we could go towards the arena right now. But there is still some stuff we have to do outside the arena. And that's go to the nurse's office to get our weekly healing supplies. Now, I guess you can call it weekly healing supplies. So we got our healing supplies, and I think now we can head towards the arena without any issue. But I'm gonna buy some new piece of equipment here before I head into the arena. I think I buy a piece of formal wear that allows me to cast Cure on my servant, which gets rid of status ailments on them. It cures poison, paralysis, and curse. I got the aromatic wood here. And I replaced the Exorcist Blade. Gives us a little bit more MP. That form piece of formal wear as well, so that's something. I don't think I buy anything else. Now there's gonna be an enemy that we meet up with in the arena. I battle it, but I suggest you guys don't. I guess I'll just say it now. I think I defeat all three of them, but I waste a lot of my ether shards and a lot of my MP, and I end up losing. And when you lose in the arena, you have to load your save file, so you don't restart from the arena entrance. So all the experience you get is lost. I leave the part in that I lost, and I just immediately cut into where I get back. For the sake of showing the enemy off, I just show the first battle I have with that really strong enemy. It's possible to defeat all four of them at your level right now, but you're gonna waste a lot of items, and if you predict wrongly, you could easily lose. Especially with casters, since the enemy does like I think it's called fish bite, fish head, something like that. It does like more than 100 damage to caster. I've noticed that I say like a lot too. I usually don't say that word often in normal conversation. I'm just having trouble thinking of the right words to say right off the bat. Because I used to do live commentary and that was a bit different. I have to think more about what I'm saying than focus on what's actually going on. So it's quite a bit different. It's quite a bit different. That sounds wrong to me. But let's go with it. Second Chimeric Lunar Sea, first floor. Look, a tree. Oh. Oh. Something's happening. Something that we don't want to happen is clearly happening right now. Oh. Then we should go. So let's take care of the enemy's poison here. This first time around I thought it would be more serious, so I went straight to the source of the poison. But it really isn't that serious. You only lose like 1 HP like every like 10 seconds or something like that. So in the footage you'll see I didn't fight every enemy. But in the footage, but not in the footage, but in my redo of this, you know, beginning part, I go and battle all the other enemies and fill up the map. Actually, I think in this footage here, that really doesn't matter anymore. I do go back and fill up the map, so you won't miss much in terms of the map filling. So these new enemies on this floor follow a completely different pattern than the enemies on the previous floors. I'm trying to use like the patterns for the enemies on the previous floor for enemies on this floor, and that really doesn't work out all that often, as you can see here. So the first time an enemy got a chain on me. Now, with this enemy, you're going to want to use attack a lot, if I remember correctly. Now, these enemies are recolors of the enemies from the first arena. They're green colored instead of blue. They're green instead of blue. For some reason, whenever I say a word that sounds similar to like of, I think I say I don't know why. I think it's because I'm trying not to say in my commentary. Is why I'm trying to catch myself when there's no need to catch myself. So no matter what servant you have here, you're going to want to stay silent. You're going to want to keep your servant back, because you don't want to fight these guys. I believe if you try to fight them, you will have a game over. So don't do it. So it's quite obvious that Dan and his servant aren't actually cooperating that much. Yeah, he might. No, he does. He does definitely like Friday, because he mentions it himself that he doesn't use it at all because it gets him nowhere. I guess I can see where he's coming from. Because that pride thing often doesn't work unless both people have pride, if you understand what I'm saying. Because then both people will, if they're in a battle, will fight with pride. You know, they'll fight fairly. However, if only one person has that, then the other person, the person without the pride, won't fight fairly and will do whatever he can to win. Doesn't mean he'll always win, but it gives I guess the unprideful person an advantage, and I don't know why I'm doing that.
やりましたね、ご主人様。よーし、まだまだ頑張りますね。チャリン参ります。いきますよ。負ける気がしません。
Alright. Well, I was interrupted, like a lot of times I record, so I suppose that's nothing new.
存分に恨んでくださいましな。なんか楽しくなってきましたね、マスター。はい、お粗末様でした。尻尾汚れちゃいます。ありがとうございます。
Looks like I cut ahead to later part during editing.
夏野の決
Well, I didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't really matter since that piece of map that I filled up didn't have anything in it.
ご主人様って天才かも。
And this foot, and so it's not really that big of a deal.
やりました。レベルアップです。
So I go after. I don't think I go fight him right now.
強敵の予感。マスター、準備はよろしいですか？ いきます。
What? I thought I cut this part out. Because I must have forgotten to delete the footage. Because you see the little shattered effect there. I usually use that shatter effect whenever I cut out footage. But this battle doesn't look like it lasts too long anyway, so...
やっぱ人の世は儚いものですね。頑張りますね。はい、お粗末様でした。ブサイクモデル、ありがとうございます。
That's odd.
夏野の決戦を思い出す。いきますね。
So yeah, fish bite. Yeah, you don't want to fight these things. Because you can, you know, go back and forth between the beginning and end of the map to grind. And right now, you really don't want to fight these things. Because it's pretty easy to get them, to get yourself killed. I just call myself lucky in that I didn't die to any of these guys. That I didn't die to any of these guys. think I said something completely different than that, but I suppose it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's really hard to predict what they're gonna do. And they switch up their pattern a lot. So if you don't keep yourself constantly healed, you're gonna lose. If you're playing as Archer or Saber, you might have a better time with fighting at fighting these things. I think my major problem is I didn't use magic, but at this point I wasn't sure what was ended later in the dungeon, like more fish bites. So I didn't want to use magic, but I think that turns out to be my downfall. I should have used magic from the get-go. So I just show off this first fight with it, and then I'll show off, if I fight this enemy again, I'll show it off again, that extra time, and then I'll cut out every other battle that I have with this enemy. Oh. You might be confused. The way I said it was kind of confusing. Every battle after this, the second time I fight this guy will be cut. Although and everything sounded more confusing. So I'm just gonna shut up right now. You guys already know the way I'm editing for this game. And I die. Hooray! So yeah, this is what happens when you get a game over. So, yeah, I cut back over here. Hopefully I don't mess up the editing over here. Oh yeah, we get another pair of durable gym clothes there. So if you didn't buy it in the first week, I suppose you could get it for free there. But you can still buy it, so. Well, I suppose that freezer formula didn't see much action when I had it. Oh, it might be useful, it might not be. Swindle. I still have trouble predicting the Swindle's movements. Yeah, but like I said, I say ignore those fish bites for now, and after you level up a bit here and you spend some more SP points in defense, magic, and endurance, the defense, attack, and magic, then you go back and fight those fish bites for experience. Because you'll get more experience on the second floor of the arena, but for right now, those fish bites are the best source of experience. Oh. I think I cut out every battle with Swindle after this one. Cause I'm trying to think, because it was kind of hard, because my usual editing software, for some reason, with this footage was going slow. It was going a lot more slowly than it usually was. So I guess that's why I messed up with a bit of the editing earlier. But seeing what I'm doing, even if I mess up, you guys should be able to see where I messed up and fix it up yourselves if you're playing along with me. And there we go. So there's another insanity, I believe it was called, correct? Yes. These insanities actually give you a decent amount of experience and aren't too tough. I don't know why I said that with that odd inflection there. I think now we're just like really starting to see casters, like how weak caster is. Because in the first floor we saw it, but we didn't, you know, it wasn't really that noticeable. But here it's now you're really seeing how weak caster is in terms of defense. Attack not so much, but defense definitely. And we get the first cipher, or trigger, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there's nothing else too significant on this floor. I think there's one more item here. Oh no, it's not even an item. Yeah, it wasn't really that obvious there, but I did run into an enemy there. So there's a switch here, and that opens the way to the exit of this arena. I suppose you don't actually have to ever use that switch to exit the arena, but I suppose it's a quicker way to get out of the arena. So what I do now is I go grinding. And do I show my status off? Yes, I do. I am now level 12. So I just grinded up to the next level. And so now I'm level 12. Because we did go up 2 levels this day, and I'd say that's pretty good. Because I think our target level for this week is 14. Good. Why do I say that? It's because I found out where the game actually tells us that, like what our target level is. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be like a higher level than the target level, but I think the target level is like the bare minimum. See there, target level 14. So there's still some treasures and some stuff we're missing in the first floor. One of them is Taiga's request, and the other one is Ronnie's request, I believe. So there's still some items we still need to obtain in the arena, but we don't need to obtain them right now. Or we we can't obtain them right now. So don't worry about getting 100% on the arena on the first day. So that's it for this episode, guys. Hope to see you guys again next time, whenever that is. Bye.